Part 28. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 272. Feng Wen walked up to Zhou Tao and Sun Qi with a smile. Congratulations to both of you, he immediately clasped his fists at them in congratulations. Zhou Tao and Sun Qi looked at each other, thank you, and then said to Feng Wen with a smile. Feng Wen looked at Sun Qi enviously and was too embarrassed to ask directly. Seeing Feng Wen's appearance, Zhou Tao knew that Feng Wen wanted to talk to Sun Qi alone, so he walked away with Li Qiang. After Zhou Tao left, Feng Wen hurried forward. Brother, what conditions did you agree to miss? Feng Wen asked eagerly. The third level, he also wants to rush to the third level. Sun Qi was stunned. Then laughed. I took the initiative to mention it to the lady. Because I didn't have anything valuable in my hand, I could only offer to give all the second-order crystal cores that the team got today to the lady, Sun Qi said cheerfully. All second-order crystal nuclei. Feng Wen's throat was a little dry. Nowadays, the zombies outside are generally first-order zombies, so what the superpowers can obtain are generally first-order crystal nuclei, and second-order crystal nuclei are extremely precious. This time when they came to the power plant, they encountered so many second-order zombies and got quite a few second-order crystal cores. This is a huge fortune. Sun Qi's Wolf Fang mercenary team, including himself, consisted of 4 people in total, and the number of second-order crystal cores they were assigned was quite large. With so many second-order crystal nuclei, he actually agreed to give them all to the lady. Yes. In addition, the lady also made a request to me, Sun Qi continued. What's the request? Feng Wen felt a little uneasy. I'm afraid he can't even do this if he takes out all the second-order crystal cores. Is there any other requirements? There are risks in upgrading. Miss told me to bear the consequences. She also said. Sun Qi stopped. What else can you say? Feng Wen looked anxious. Sun Qi's lips raised. The lady also said that if I am lucky enough to reach the third level, let me seek refuge with her. Now that he is already a third-level powerhouse, he is considered qualified and has the capital to seek refuge with the young lady. The Thunder Base will definitely bear his name in the future. Feng Wen was startled. I felt a little sad. Although the second-order crystal core is precious, it is not enough to impress the lady. What the lady really wants is the refuge of a third-level superpower. After figuring this out, Feng Wen felt a little uncomfortable. He is the subordinate of the Yellow Monkey Hall Master, and he has already been mastered. Naturally, he can no longer rely on the young lady. But the lady just gave him the choice, which really put him in a dilemma. Captain Feng, Miss is very strong and has many ideas. Sun Qi gave Feng Wen an admonishing look. When Feng Wen came to ask him, it must be the young lady. It seemed that the young lady was interested in Feng Wen. He was about to follow the young lady, so he was naturally willing to help her recruit this general. Feng Wen smiled bitterly at Sun Qi. I know. Thank you, brother. Then he said to Sun Qi. Sun Qi raised a smile and said, it's not urgent, let's eat first. The hot pot smell came out of the pot, but he was still hungry. Okay, Feng Wen smiled and nodded. At this time, Len Ning also stood up and asked everyone to start eating. In the cool open space, everyone was boiling hot pot and eating very happily. Just after eating for a while, Yuan Xing arrived. I saw him in a panic, limping and running towards this direction. The way he looked at the hot pot with gleaming eyes was like a hungry wolf. Everyone was a little shocked when they saw Yuan Xing's sloppy appearance. Especially Zhou Tao and Sun Qi burst into laughter. Qiangzi! Give me some water. Ignoring Zhou Tao's exaggerated smile, Yuan Xing shouted to Li Qiang. Although Qiangzi and the others helped him clean up the dirt on his body and bandaged his wounds. 6 updates on weekends and days. There are still 3 updates left and I am currently writing. Kisses. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 273. But he didn't wash his hair. Xioman's disgusting juice sprayed all over his head. Now that the juice has dried, his hair has become strands and lumps, which makes him feel sick no matter how he thinks about it. Also, even though they didn't clean him very well, he was really sick and hungry now. Li Qiang was stunned. Oh, here it comes, then he put down the bowl reluctantly. He was having a great time eating hot pot, and the deputy team leader. Hey, whatever. Deputy Yuan has a misophobia, so he should give him a bath first. Seeing Li Qiang coming, Yuan Xing turned around and limped away without waiting. Yes, he never wanted to be so smelly and dirty again. Ha 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 ha, Zhou Tao laughed again. The others laughed, and the scene was extremely lively for a while. Only Feng Wen, after meeting Yuan Xing, his eyes became a little lonely. It seems that brother Yuan Xing has also reached the third level, Feng Wen said disappointedly. Sun Qi smiled and nodded, it's almost the same. We'll know when he comes back later. Don't worry, Miss is at the Thunder Base. You can always find a solution when you go back, Sun Kikong comforted Feng Wen. Yeah, Feng Wen composed himself. Thank you, brother, then he said gratefully to Sun Qi. Thank you. Coming out together can be regarded as a life and death crisis. Sun Qi was very cheerful. Feng Wen smiled on his face, and his opinion of Sun Qi rose to a higher level again. Everyone enjoyed the hot pot meal so much that the large amount of ingredients Len Ning took out was almost eaten. After Yuan Xing came back, there was even a shortage of ingredients. Fortunately, Len Ning couldn't say anything else. The reserve of ingredients was absolutely sufficient. He immediately took out the ingredients and asked them to process them while they were still eating. The three newly promoted third-level superpowers who got to the end were diligent and went about their work happily. Len Ning looked at the three of them with a smile, calmed down, and went to the camp to set up the tent. The night passed peacefully and sweetly. In her dream, Len Ning dreamed that she was wearing a wedding dress and was marrying Lei Ting. Just as he was about to say I do to Lei Lei, he was woken up by someone. Boss! Come out quickly, the power is restored, it was Zhou Tao's voice. Len Ning's face was a little dark. One stood up and left the tent. Boss! The smile on Zhou Tao's face suddenly faded. The boss's expression, he seems a little unhappy. Len Ning glanced at Zhou Tao and took out the toiletries from the space ring. After some operations, I finally looked at Zhou Tao. Boss! Zhou Tao called Len Ning in fear and did not dare to continue speaking. What's wrong? Len Ning frowned. Then he subconsciously restrained his bad emotions. She is now a fourth-level powerhouse, and her bad mood will bring pressure. Because he was awakened from his sweet dream, he actually forgot this point, which affected Zhou Tao. Len Ning put away his pressure, and Zhou Tao felt relaxed instantly. Captain Feng led the workers to work overtime all night, and now the power has been restored. Ignoring the doubts in his heart, Zhou Tao said to Len Ning with a smile. Len Ning nodded, okay, take me to have a look. Huang Ho asked her to be the person in charge of this operation, and she did know these things. Ye Zhou Tao hurriedly led the way. Boiler room. Feng Wen arranged for a worker to give a brief explanation to Len Ning. There are 6 updates in the past 2 days over the weekend, and there are still 3 more to go, which I am currently writing. What? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 274. Len Ning didn't understand the professional stuff. He only knew that the equipment had been inspected and was now operating normally. The power supply to the Thunder Base should have been restored at this moment. Len Ning was very satisfied when he heard the result. In this way, you can have a perfect communication after you return. The only thing I'm worried about now is that the power plant doesn't have much coal in reserve. I'm afraid the current inventory won't be used for long, the worker said worriedly to Len Ning. They will stay here for up to a month. When the garrison comes, the garrison will stay here for a long time. Communication is currently inconvenient, and it is difficult for them to maintain close contact with the Thunder base. They can only take advantage of the fact that the young lady is still here, and they can seize the time to report possible problems that may arise next. Looking at the workers filling coal into the boiler not far away, Len Ning raised the corners of his mouth. This is the end of the world, so we can't think about things with pre-apocalyptic thinking. Seeing the confused expressions of the workers and Feng Wen, Len Ning continued, it is impossible that the military department has not considered this. The largest number of soldiers who come to garrison must be those with fire powers. Actually, at the beginning of the end of the world, humans have not yet developed a device that can directly store electricity. Otherwise, we can just let the lightning power users generate electricity, and there is no need for the complexity of thermal power generation. Yes, after the end of the world, after the major bases established a foothold one after another, they began to think of ways to develop and grow. Trade will begin between bases. In human society, there is progress when there is trade. Various scientific research results adapted to the apocalyptic ecology will also appear one after another. Because the Lei family has an arsenal in Thunder Base, their arms business will be huge. Of course, in the early stage, they only sold some ordinary weapons before the end of the world, but as the end of the world progresses, it will be difficult for ordinary weapons to cause damage to high-level zombies. Thunder had already invested in the research and development of supernatural weapons at that time, and the specific launch time would be in the second half of the fourth year of the apocalypse. It was also for this reason that the Southern Army base felt a great threat from the Thunder base, and finally chose to attack her, using her and her mother to threaten and contain the elder brother. Just forget about the past. Thunder base is just a microcosm of many powerful bases. Each major base in China generally has its own pillar industry. For example, City B has a base that focuses on scientific research and has developed and produced a large number of lightning collection equipment. Using that device, humans will be able to achieve individual power supply for each household. All you need to do is connect your home circuits to the device, and the entire home's electricity can be supplied by the device. When the power in the device is low, you only need to take the device to the base lightning terminal to store electricity before it can be used again. The base's lightning station is also a large lightning collector. Compared with household lightning collectors, it only has a larger capacity and can be directly stored by lightning power users. With the large lightning collector, the lightning power users in the base can go to the base lightning station to store electricity regularly for a fee to supply the electricity consumption of the residents of the entire base. In addition to lightning collection equipment, humans will also develop fire collection equipment and wind collection equipment. Later, there will be some products that can be used with these devices. For example, new energy vehicles that use fire power collection equipment, new energy helicopters. In short, as the end of the world progresses, while humans are struggling to survive, they will also develop a civilization that matches the end of the world. These achievements can not only greatly improve the convenience of human life and better serve mankind, but also help mankind improve its combat strength and gradually gain the upper hand in the confrontation with zombies. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Ki Now. Chapter 275. The workers and Feng Wen's eyes lit up. Yes, why didn't they think of it? There is no need for coal when there are people with fire powers. Also, what the lady said about directly using the lightning power of the lightning power user may sound unrealistic, but it seems to make sense. After all, the thunder and lightning of the lightning power users and the electricity they use are actually the same thing. Besides coal, Are there any other problems? Len Ning asked the workers. The worker was stunned. Don't worry about the equipment for the time being. Miss, you have saved the first 3 workshops. Most of them contain equipment maintenance tools and replacement parts. In the short term, they are enough to ensure the stable operation of the large and small equipment in the factory, the worker said. It's just a matter of food and accommodation for the workers. There is a temporary rest room in the factory, but it can accommodate too few people. They will have to stay here for a long time in the future, and accommodation will be a problem. And food. Each of them didn't bring much luggage, and the food was only enough to last for 1 day. Don't worry about food and accommodation. The military department will definitely send people over to make arrangements, Len Ning said calmly. In addition, I will go to the open space outside to plant a sweet potato field for you later. There will really be nothing to eat by then. You can pick sweet potato leaves or dig sweet potatoes to eat. I don't know if the military sent people over to equip them with a space jade. If there are, she can also give them enough vegetables to put in the space jade to ensure that there is enough food here. Thank you so much, miss. The worker quickly bowed to Len Ning and thanked him. You are stationed here to contribute to the base, and you should not be wronged, Len Ning said solemnly. Thinking that sweet potatoes can be stored for a long time, Len Ning decided to save some sweet potatoes for these people. Now in the Thunder base, the productivity of the vegetable base has not kept up. Thinking about it, even if the people sent by the military department brought food and supplies, they wouldn't be too much. A look of emotion flashed in the worker's eyes. With us here, the Thunder base will definitely not lose power then, he said firmly. Len Ning nodded. You make arrangements so that all the free workers can go to the open space outside to help. As for the food issue, I will find a solution for you. Yes, the worker said immediately. You also call your people, Len Ning then looked at Feng Wen. Yes. Then, Len Ning left the factory. The members of the Manman team and the Wolf Fang mercenary team were called together and began to use wood-type abilities to promote the growth of sweet potato vines. After that, everyone was allowed to pick sweet potato vines and make cuttings. After the cuttings were made, Len Ning quickly encouraged the cutting vines to take root and sprout, and then continued to encourage them to grow rapidly. Everyone was stunned as they saw a green field of sweet potatoes slowly forming in front of their eyes. When the sweet potato vines covered the open space on a large scale, Len Ning asked everyone to start harvesting the sweet potato vines. Seeing so many fresh vegetables, everyone felt happy and started working quickly. While working, I admired Len Ning's strength. The young lady is now a 4th level wood-type superpower. With such a powerful wood-type superpower, the vegetable supply problem at the Thunder base will probably be solved soon. When the sweet potato vines were harvested, Len Ning continued to grow sweet potatoes. After once again arranging for everyone to harvest a crop of sweet potato vines, Len Ning arranged for everyone to start digging sweet potatoes. After all, they were all men, with strong strength and endurance. In addition, there were many people with special abilities who participated in the labor. They were extremely efficient and quickly dug out a large number of sweet potatoes. Finish. Happy weekend, babes. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 276. Looking at the huge sweet potatoes, everyone's face was full of joy. There are so many, this big sweet potato, how many nuclei would it be worth if it were put on the market? These many sweet potatoes should be enough for them to eat for a long time. After digging the sweet potatoes, Len Ning asked everyone to continue to cooperate with her in the next round. After 4 rounds, it was finally almost noon. Seeing that the sweet potatoes were almost enough and everyone was hungry, Len Ning finally started to think about lunch. Letting most of them continue to make cuttings, Len Ning asked a few people who knew how to cook to prepare lunch. Knowing that this was the last meal they would have together with the workers, Len Ning was not stingy and brought out a lot of ingredients, including both meat and vegetables. The three workers who were cooking saw this, with deep joy in their eyes. By the time Len Ning finished the last spawning of sweet potato vines, the food here was not ready yet. Len Ning was bored and ready to go out for a walk. After leaving the yard of the power plant, Len Ning walked along a path towards a small village. Anyway, I have nothing to do, so why not go see if I can get some supplies? Of course, the supplies Len Ning wanted were only eggs and fish. It has been so long since the end of the world. Even if there are any poultry that survive, they must have turned into zombies, but the eggs can be preserved. There are also fish in the pond, they live in the water, and it is difficult for zombies and zombie animals to harm them. Fish can be said to be the most edible animal in the post-apocalyptic world. When she came, she happened to see a fish pond next to the village. Her wood mutation ability has now reached the 4th level, and those dangerous low-level zombie dogs are no longer a match for her. Therefore, she naturally had to make this trip. Walking along the trail, Len Ning soon arrived at the entrance of the small village. After walking a few steps in, zombies and animal zombies appeared as expected. Len Ning curled his lips, got rid of them in a few moments, and started walking inside. Entering a farmer's house, cleaning out zombies and zombie animals' crystal nuclei, and generally looking for eggs. Sure enough, Len Ning got a lot of chicken, duck, and goose eggs one after another. After emptying out the chicken, duck, and goose sheds of about 10 households in the village, Len Ning walked towards his biggest destination, the fish pond in the village. What a pity, I forgot to prepare the fishing net in advance, Len Ning said, a little annoyed when he saw a fish jumping out of the water in the middle of the fish pond. Meat supplies are extremely precious now and in the next few years. After all, the growth rate of animals is much lower than that of plants that can be spawned by wood-type powers. If she could catch all the fish in this pond, she would definitely be able to eat them for a long time. No matter what, let's count as many as we can. Summoning Xiaoman, Len Ning decided to do it first. She held one end of Xiaoman and quickly made Xiaoman grow a large number of vines. The long vines headed directly towards the surface of the pond, and then began to weave rapidly, quickly growing into a huge net. When the time came, Len Ning quickly whipped Xiaoman. The huge vine net instantly rose into the air and was thrown to the shore by Len Ning. Looking at the plump silver carp jumping so high, Len Ning felt happy. He quickly took out a basket from the space ring, picked up the fish and put them into the basket. Boss Len Ning was just picking up fish with enthusiasm when Zhou Tao came unexpectedly. There are so many fish, boss, why didn't you call us? Zhou Tao walked towards Len Ning excitedly. Finish. Have a great weekend, babes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 277. Len Ning looked up at Zhou Tao. The military team has arrived, and they are all waiting for you in the courtyard. Those people almost lost their eyes when they saw the pots they were using to heat hot pot. One by one, they were swallowing hard. But without the boss speaking up, no one dared to let them join in the meal. Next, although the boss brought out a lot of food, it was not enough to add so many mouths at once. Len Ning was stunned. You come and pick up the fish, and I'll try to catch some more nets, then he said. Now that we have come, we naturally have to get some more fish to go. As for the newcomers to the military, it doesn't matter if they wait. Anyway, from now on, the power plant will be guarded by them. Okay, Zhou Tao was naturally happy and hurriedly ran up to help. With help from others, Len Ning then focused on fishing with Xiaoman. After the effect in one place is bad, continue in another place. After doing this continuously for more than half an hour, Len Ning took away most of the fish in the pond. At this time Yuan Xing and Zheng Peng also came. Seeing Zhou Tao happily picking up fish, the two of them had joy in their eyes. The boss is so awesome. What a vision and idea. They thought she was really just here to relax, but they didn't expect that she was actually here to catch fish. Fish is a meat material, which is great. You two, don't be stunned. Come over and help kill the fish, Zhou Tao hurriedly said to the two of them. Space Jade cannot hold living animals. These fish will not die in a short time. The sooner you kill them, the better. Okay, okay, the two said quickly. Then he and Zhou Tao handled the fish. After another 10 minutes, Len Ning finally gave up the idea of continuing to fish. After looking at his results, he found a total of 8 baskets of fish, which weighed no less than 1,000 kilograms. This fish pond is considered highly productive. Boss, seeing Len Ning approaching, the three of them quickly stood up. Boss, I have killed all the fish, but they die slowly and the space jade cannot be put in. Zhou Tao frowned. I'm afraid I'll have to wait a little longer, Yuan Xing also said. At this moment, Len Ning saw several people coming out of the power plant. It was obvious that those people, like Zhou Tao and others, were also looking for her. Looking at the time, Len Ning realized that it was already 1:30 in the afternoon. Let's move back to the power plant first. Since we all met, we took out some fish and everyone ate them together. Yes, everyone took action immediately. Zhou Tao and Zheng Peng picked 2 baskets each, and Yuan Xing picked 4 baskets by himself and followed Len Ning back. As soon as they arrived in the village, they met Sun Qi, Li Qiang, and others who came to look for them. Seeing Len Ning and others catching so many fish, their faces were filled with envy and smiles. The lady actually discovered the fish pond. And we got so many fish. How many crystal cores is this worth? Oh no, meat is so precious, even if it has a crystal core, I wouldn't want to sell it. Before Len Ning could say anything, everyone rushed forward to help. Len Ning raised the corner of his mouth, ignored it, walked in front, and rushed back. When he arrived at the power plant yard, Len Ning saw the military team arriving to station. I've seen you, miss, the leader hurried over when he saw Len Ning. Len Ning glanced at the person who came, and then glanced at the soldiers standing neatly not far away. There are a total of 20 people in this team, not a large number, but not a lot. Yes, Len Ning said calmly, it's been a hard journey all the way here. Let everyone eat together first, and I will hand over to you after the meal. The visitor looked happy and said, yes. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kge Now. Chapter 278. At the same time, the soldiers behind him also heard Len Ning's words, with excitement on their faces. Immediately afterwards, Zhou Tao and others arrived with fish. The Manman team took out a whole basket of fish and cooked it in hot pot for everyone to eat. This meal was very lively in the courtyard. The workers and the new military soldiers quickly became familiar with each other. After the meal, Len Ning called Feng Wen, the head of the military team and the head of the workers, to handle the handover. Then he took everyone back. For the sake of comfort, Len Ning directly took a bus donated by Lei Lei and came out. Feng Wen drove, and the others sat in the car, talking and laughing as they headed back to the Thunder base. After returning along the original road and walking through the affected section of road, everyone had a very smooth journey and soon arrived in the downtown area. Seeing a department store, Sun Qi suggested that everyone go there to try their luck. Everyone looked interested, but Len Ning refused. After experiencing life and death in the power plant, she missed her mother and elder brother. Sun Qi and others had no choice but to give up, and the car continued to speed towards the Thunder base. Soon, the group arrived at the Thunder base. Feng Wen traveled smoothly with his military ID and quickly brought everyone to the military headquarters. Len Ning directly handed over the relevant equipment and information to Feng Wen, said goodbye to everyone, and returned to Lei's house alone. Walking into the Lei's courtyard, Bathing in the warm sunshine, Len Ning felt a rare sense of comfort and enjoyment. Ning Ning is back. Lei Mu, who was basking in the sun in the yard, was the first to see Len Ning and quickly got up. Len Ning smiled and said quickly, "Mom, don't come over. I'm dirty. Let me go back to the room and take a shower first." Only then did Lei's mother notice that Len Ning's body was indeed very dirty, and there seemed to be injuries in many places. Meijun quickly asked Xiaobao to show Ning Ning, then he hurriedly said to Yang Meijun beside him. "Yes," Yang Meijun responded quickly. Len Ning smiled at Yang Meijun, "I'm going to take a shower first, and I'll come find you after I'm done." After that, he ran away. "Hey, this child," Lei's mother still wanted to say a few words, but she could only say one in the end. The receiver asked Yang Meijun to find Xiaobao and arranged for the kitchen to prepare delicious food for Len Ning. Len Ning went all the way upstairs to the stairs and subconsciously glanced in the direction of Lei's room. Taking one last look at the dirty clothes on his body, he decided to clean himself first. So he quickly headed towards his room. After returning to the room, Len Ning went directly to the bathroom. "Take off your clothes, wash your hair, take a shower." A series of actions are completed in one go. Since she cut her long hair, her personal hygiene is really not too simple now. After rinsing off the shower gel from his body, Len Ning resisted the stinging sensation, dried his body and put on home clothes. Just got out of the bathroom. Knock knock knock. There was a knock on the door. "Who?" Len Ning shouted towards the door. "It's Mom. I'll bring Xiaobao to treat your injury." It was Lei's mother's concerned voice. Len Ning's expression suddenly softened, and his heart felt warm. "Here we come." Then he hurriedly walked towards the door. When I opened the door, I saw Lei Mu. Yang Meijun and Xiaobao were also standing at the door. Everyone was startled when they saw Len Ning's rosy little face that had been affected by the heat, and the small patch of skin under her fair and tender neck. This is probably what people say about natural beauty. "Mom, Aunt Yang. Come in quickly." Len Ning stepped away with a smile. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kge Now. Chapter 279. After Lei's mother and Aunt Yang entered the door, Len Ning knelt down again and couldn't help pinching Xiaobao's face. Not long after joining the Manman team, this kid turned out to be a lot more plump and cuter. Xiaobao blushed and followed everyone into the room. Then Lei Mu muttered a few words to Len Ning and asked Xiaobao to treat Len Ning's injuries. Len Ning was very cooperative. As Xiaobao's healing power was injected into his limbs, Len Ning felt the stinging sensation from the wounds slowly begin to disappear. Then the visible wounds began to scab again, or even fell off, and the body almost returned to normal. Lei's mother saw Xiaobao's healing effect on Len Ning so well, and looked at Xiaobao with more and more love. The little baby is really a treasure. By the time Xiaobao stopped, Len Ning's body had returned to normal. "Not bad, your healing power has reached its second level, right?" Len Ning raised his restored arm and asked Xiaobao with a smile. "Yes." Xiaobao nodded with a bit of pride. Then a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. "Boss, have you been promoted?" Then he asked Len Ning tentatively. He clearly felt that when he treated the boss's injury just now, the effect was not so obvious, so this small injury took him so much effort. "I think this is most likely because the boss's own abilities have improved. But the boss is already at the peak of the third level of the wood mutation type. If he advances further, wouldn't he be on the fourth level? Lei Shaok is only at the peak of the third level. Is it possible for the boss to reach the fourth level in such a short time?" "Smart," Len Ning said with a smile and gave Xiaobao an appreciative look. Everyone in the room was shocked. "Fourth level? Oh my god, the young lady slash boss slash daughter is already a fourth level powerhouse. I just broke through." Len Ning followed. I'm going to talk to my eldest brother about something, let's go first," Len Ning said hurriedly when he saw that everyone was still in shock. She couldn't wait to tell her elder brother about her promotion to the 4th level. She is getting closer to her eldest brother now. Len Ning hurriedly ran out without waiting for anyone to reply. When she heard Lei's mother calling her in the corridor, Len Ning just smiled and ran away. After passing through the corridor, Len Ning finally arrived in front of the Thunder Room. After calming down, Len Ning was about to knock on the door, but the door was opened from the inside. Lei Ting's tall and straight body suddenly stood in front of Len Ning. Len Ning leaned forward and almost fell into Lei Ting's arms. Fortunately, she was so strong that she didn't really fall over. Brother Len Ning's cheeks turned red and she shouted thunderously. "Brother, are you going out?" "Yeah," Lei responded, suppressing his fast-beating heart in his chest. "Come in." Then he stepped aside. Knowing that Xiao Ning was back, he had just packed up and was going to see her. Unexpectedly, she came over first. Seeing the furnishings in the Thunder Room, Len Ning's heart tightened again. All the embarrassing things that happened in the Thunder Room the last time she came to the Thunder Room rushed into her mind. "Huh?" Lei Ting asked when Len Ning didn't move. "Oh. Okay," Len Ning said quickly. After taking a deep breath, he walked into the Thunder Room. Seeing Len Ning go and sit down on the sofa, Lei went to get Len Ning some water with a smile. Putting the cup of warm water in front of Len Ning, Lei took 2 big sips from the other cup. Len Ning also picked up the cup and drank water to suppress the tension in his heart. "You're not hurt, are you?" Seeing Len Ning's appearance, Lei felt less nervous and even found it a bit interesting. "Thank you Vava baby for the 4 cans of energy drinks and 2 flowers. There are 6 updates today, and I will continue writing the remaining 3. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 280. No. Len Ning had just answered before he saw Lei Ting's playful expression. "Well, I suffered some minor flesh injuries, and Xiaobao healed them for me," he then said in a higher tone. Hearing Len Ning say he was injured, the smile on Lei's face immediately faded. "A few of them were seriously injured, but it's worth it," Len Ning said with a smile. "At this moment, the tension in my heart finally dissipated." What's going on at the power plant? Although it was an S-level mission, Lei estimated that it wouldn't be difficult for Len Ning to go there. Furthermore, the people who went with her were not weak, and he had prepared so many guns and ammunition for her, so they shouldn't run into too much trouble. There are many second-level zombies in the power plant, and one of the power-type zombies even reached the 3rd level, Len Ning explained. Lei's face tightened. "But don't worry, brother, we have eliminated all those zombies." And at this point, Len Ning had a look of pride on his face. "And what?" Lei asked with a smile. His eyes were filled with adoration. "And I took the opportunity to advance to the 4th level." Len Ning looked at Lei with a smile, looking forward to his reaction. Lei was startled for a moment, then smiled. "Congratulations Xiao Ning. Now you are the person with the highest level of superpower in the base." There was no trace of jealousy on Lei's face, only happiness. Len Ning felt joy in her heart. "I also helped Zhou Tao, Yuan Xing, and Sun Qi to advance to the 3rd level." Len Ning followed. Lei was stunned. "How did you help?" There was curiosity in his eyes. "It is difficult to advance from the 2nd level to the 3rd level. The 3 people in the 4-color group followed him back to City A after such a long journey and time. Some people almost failed to advance to the 3rd level. It would be better for Xiao Ning to directly let 3 people advance to the 3rd level in a row." Xiaoman, Len Ning said and looked at his arm. At the same time, a green, motionless vine appeared on Len Ning's arm. The vine seemed to be sleeping soundly, and the 2 prominent pages were trembling slightly and regularly, as if they were breathing. Looking interesting, Len Ning reached out and fiddled with Xiaoman's 2 leaves twice. The two leaves quickly dodge. Len Ning continued. Soon, the vines moved. Grow a sharp thorn, ready to go crazy. It was obvious that it was Len Ning who stretched out his hand, and he quickly retracted the thorn. Then, the pitiful green vine turned into a green vine and stuck to the palm of Len Ning's hand. He looked like he was begging his master not to harass him and to let him go. Len Ning laughed haha. Lei Lei was surprised. He knew about the existence of Xiaoman, and had seen the scene where Len Ning commanded it to kill everyone, but he never thought that Xiaoman could also have the ability to promote superpowers. In addition, the way Xiaoman stabbed Xiaoning just now made him a little scared. Although it immediately put away its thorns and acted coquettishly at Xiaoning, but when it exposed its thorns just now, it really looked like it was going to kill someone. After teasing Xiaoman enough, Len Ning finally decided to let Xiaoman go and took it back into his consciousness-y space. Xiaoman has also followed me to the 4th level. Its combat power now is not the same as before, Len Ning said with a smile. Seeing that Lei Lei seemed to be thinking about the problem and did not respond, Len Ning suddenly said, "Brother, do you want to try to compete with me?" Lei Lei was stunned. Okay, then he actually responded. It just so happened that he wanted to take this opportunity to see what was going on with Xiaoman. Len Ning's eyes lit up. How about the military training ground, he continued. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 281. Yeah, Lei Lei nodded with a smile. Even the location has been chosen. It seems that Xiao Ning has already planned a fight with him. Let's go now. Len Ning was really excited and stood up immediately. Thunder. Len Ning suddenly realized something was wrong. He looked down at the home clothes he was wearing. His face suddenly turned red. Brother, wait a minute, I'll change my clothes and leave. As soon as he finished speaking, Len Ning ran towards the door without waiting for Lei Ting's reply. After leaving Lei Ting's room, the cool breeze blew on his face, and Len Ning felt that he felt much more normal instantly. Thinking that he would compete with Lei Lei later, Len Ning hurriedly ran towards his room. When she returned to her room, Len Ning breathed a sigh of relief when she saw that Lei's mother and others had left. Then he casually took out a set of powerful clothes from the space ring and put them on. Originally, he was about to go out directly, but after taking a look at himself in the full-length mirror, Len Ning stopped again. Coyly, she walked to the mirror and straightened her messy hair. By the way, I tidied up my untidy clothes. Afterwards, I felt that I was barely qualified, and then I went out. As soon as he reached the stairs, he saw Lei Lei walking over. Looking at Lei Lei's handsome face and tall figure, Len Ning couldn't help but blush. So fast, Lei Lei chuckled. This smile made Len Ning's face turn redder. Stop talking nonsense, let's go. Feeling ashamed, Len Ning said something and ran away. Lei Lei felt happy in his heart and strode downstairs. Ning Ning, where are you going? The food at home will be ready soon. Lei's mother saw Len Ning running out in a hurry in the hall and called her quickly. I'll go to the military headquarters with my eldest brother. I'll be back before dinner. Len Ning ran faster for fear that Lei's mother would leave him alone. Lei Mu stood up. Seeing that Len Ning had left the yard, he sighed and had no choice but to give up. This girl hasn't calmed down since she came back. When Lei Lei went downstairs, he happened to see Lei Mu sitting down again. Seeing her son at home, Lei's mother was stunned for a moment, and then she immediately got up again. Your sister finally got home, don't keep turning her outside, Lei's mother said to Lei Lei in a deep voice. Lei Lei was stunned. Yeah, I got it then, he replied with a smile. But it wasn't him who abducted Xiaoning, but she who wanted to abduct him. Still laughing, Lei's mother originally wanted to say these two words angrily, but when she saw Lei Lei smiling, she couldn't help but laugh. This smile suddenly lost its dignity. Mom, don't worry. I'm just going to the military headquarters with Xiaoning. We'll be back when we're done. Lei Ting walked towards Lei's mother with a smile. Lei Mu was stunned. Sure enough, it was the girl who took the initiative to call her son out. You are all grown up, and I, the mother, can no longer be your master. Lei's mother sighed and sat back on the sofa. In the past, Lei was busy, so she didn't take it seriously. Anyway, Ning Ning is with him. But now Ning Ning is also busy. Although Lei is often at home, she is already used to Ning Ning accompanying her. Although her children are busy with their own affairs, she, as a mother, has to understand. But there is really something in my heart. Lei strode to Lei Mu. He knelt down and took Lei Mu's hand. After this busy period, we will hold a party at home to keep you entertained, then he said thoughtfully. Lei Mu was stunned. My heart suddenly felt warm.